So I think we're going to see at least one major crypto trading platform going public following Coinbase. There may be more than that. I also think from the regulatory side, we're here in the US, we're going to see a lot of activity from the SEC that is going to impact how companies can operate in the space under the SEC's jurisdiction or not. I do think we will see a meeting of the trading platforms in the SEC to discuss where they may fit in the future oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Another thing that we expect to see is more of President Biden's nominees across the regulatory agencies get confirmed. There's still a number of vacancies across the federal government. And once you start seeing more people confirmed, particularly in those chair roles, you will start seeing other agencies start to assert their jurisdiction over the digital asset space. And I think we're going to see more turf wars across the federal government. The agencies that I would look out for would be, the SEC with Chairman Gensler, who has really been out front and center, continuing to try to expand the SEC's jurisdiction. I think you'll start seeing some conversations from the CFPB and the FTC. The CFPB and the CFTC. And then I also think you'll have very similar type conversations with the states as well. Another thing I think we will see next year is a spot Bitcoin ETF for US investors. There may be some creative ways that companies go about getting a spot Bitcoin ETF to US people, but I think we will see that. And it may not be actually issued on a US regulated exchange, but I think we will see that tool finally come to the markets for investors. And then another thing that I think we'll see as a trend going into 2022, going back to some of those valuation models and the price of Bitcoin as well as other cryptocurrencies continuing to increase as you're seeing more adoption of digital assets globally. You're going to start seeing those early investors realize more gains. It's estimated today that 20% of first-time home buyers are using profits from crypto investments for their down payments. So I think we're going to continue to see more early investors taking gains and buying real estate. So I think we'll see more growth in the real estate sector that's fueled by cryptocurrencies. And then that also leads to a conversation about tax and more tax revenue. As more people are selling their crypto and taking gains, you're going to see more tax revenue come in as well. In the 2017 tax year, there was $100 billion worth of taxes paid in capital gains. And 25% of that, or $25 billion of cap gains paid in 2027 came from crypto. It's estimated that there's about 1 trillion of unrealized crypto gains today. And that would be about another $200 billion of potential revenue for the IRS. So I also think we're going to see a very successful and thriving crypto ecosystem in the US, and that's going to fuel a huge amount of the IRS's revenue going into next year, and it will continue to trend in that direction as this industry continues to grow and expand. I certainly believe that there is value this technology can bring to the regulators. There's been a lot of conversations about that with FinCEN as well as AML regulators globally, those who are administering the anti-money laundering laws, where transactions happening across a blockchain produces very different data from a law enforcement perspective than other monetary systems. And being able to recognize patterns and trends can be a way to completely remodel our current law enforcement system of reporting and the SARS reporting and suspicious activity reports to being able to look at patterns. It's something that I think will be a lot more effective if regulators are able to figure out how to harness that. So I absolutely think there are benefits that blockchain technology can bring to regulators, and there's benefits that they can use leveraging the data that we can all gain from monitoring what's happening on the blockchains. But I think that it's really early. I don't know if that's something we're going to see in 2022. I think those conversations today are really just happening amongst thought leaders and industry experts that recognize that potential. There's very little actual activity where you see regulators looking to dive into the technology from that perspective directly, but there's certainly huge benefits, and governments who are able to get access and build those types of systems first, I think will have a first mover advantage.